plastic forks, plastic spoons, vinyl records of Pat Boone, 40 diapers in a wink, Drano down the kitchen sink, chlorofluorocarbon ban, dolphins in a tuna can, spotted owl, old growth woods, recycle your paper goods, save the whales, don't eat meat, liberate your parakeet, don't wear fur, don't hunt deer, carrot juice instead of beer, turtles wear it proudly, Kermit protests loudly, in 60 years we'll disappear, but all this junk will still be here. It ain't easy being green. How can I save the world? It's such a big place.
Three, two, one. Stop nuclear testing. Stop nuclear testing. How's the sound, person? Thanks. Hi, my name's Jose. I want to welcome you to Politically Correct. Can we have a cut here? This refrigerator says General Electric. These guys love nukes. We can't have that here. Let's see if we can't fix it up. That looks a little better. Hi. My name's Jose. Welcome to Politically Correct Cooking, a show about politics and food, two of my favorite things. Before we begin the show, though, I want to remind all our viewers, actually, our extensive research indicates we only have one viewer. Hi, Mom. Anyway, I want to remind all our viewers that we do welcome your comments and suggestions. Our address will be flashing on the screen numerous times. Please jot it down. Let us know what you think. If you would like a recipe from one of our shows, just put that in writing and we'll get one out to you. Now, for the people out there who want to whine, who want to moan and groan, who have complained about the show, about me, the subject matter that we might have, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get a $20 bill, put your comments on a $20 bill, mail it to our address, and I can assure you that our staff will give it the immediate attention that it deserves. Now, our show tonight, I have an old friend of mine. We first worked together in 1986 on the Great Peace March for Global Nuclear Disarmament, and also since then on various Earth Days. I want to welcome Joe from MetNet. Joe, come on down.
Hey, Jose.
Joe, glad you can make it on down.
Good to be here.
How's it going?
Good, pretty good.
All right, all right. Noticing all this fine food here, but before we get into that, as our guest chef,
yes,
you get to have a chef's hat.
Great. I've always wanted to wear one of these.
Well, now's your opportunity.
How do I look?
You look smashing.
Great.
Okay.
Right.
So, I'm looking at all this fine food. What's on the menu?
Well, it's going to be a vegetarian dish, or get with all the food that we're going to use is going to be organically grown.
Cool.
It's going to be a combination of tofu, various vegetables, and a tomato sauce with pasta.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of thing that I usually cook on Sundays, and then I keep a stock of it in the refrigerator, so I don't have to spend too much time cooking during the week, and I always have fresh, organic food. And then I can mix in little things as I like during the week.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Tell me what you want me to do, and you can talk about MetNet.
Well,
you wanted me to...
turn this hot water on here.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Now, these zucchinis here.
Yeah, just give them chop them up, medium size.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, MetNet is the Metro DC Environmental Network. It was formed in the spring of 1990 as the big Earth Day started coming around. A number of local environmentalists were concerned about Earth Day, and we saw a tidal wave of energy coming to DC.
How's my zucchinis? Look okay?
Looks good. Looks good. Keep it up. Keep it up. We saw this big wave headed for DC, and we wanted to try and capture some of its energy for use of the local people and to help us clean up our local environment. In the process, we noticed that there was so much going on. There are hundreds of different national organizations and hundreds of different local organizations that never talk to one another because of the political boundaries.
Yeah.
So we thought as a practical step, the best thing we could do is to create a centralized calendar and publish it each month and get it out there to schools and libraries and to whoever wanted to subscribe to it. So that's this.
All right. What a coincidence. We have one.
Just a real short publication, but for folks that want to volunteer or get involved and know what's happening, this is the place to look.
Now, I get one of these every month, and I have to say that it has an extensive array of activities going on all around the area. And I noticed that it's not just environmental. What other things does it cover?
Well, we define environment broadly to include people as a species that is worthy of protection. For years, environmentalists were only concerned with plants and animals, and more recently, the planet as a whole. They call it Gaia. It's as if it's the whole planet is a living organism. Mm-hmm. But especially in an urban area, you come to realize that people are hurting, and they need some attention. And it's just it makes sense for environmentalists to be concerned about people as well. So we do cover issues like that pertain to poverty. People working against racism, working against poverty, homeless activists. You can find all sorts of different
I've
things.
I've noticed that it's, I think, the most extensive informational thing in the city. Now, if somebody wants one of these, what can they do?
If they want a copy, they can give our number a call. That's 202-544-5125.
We'll be flashing that number on the screen. Also,
okay.
We'll be running your address.
Okay, real good.
Okay.
You can either call us or write, and we'll send you a free complimentary copy. And if you want to subscribe, it's $15 for a year subscription.
Okay. Well, while I'm slicing this zucchini here, I noticed that you like to cook with tofu. I've eaten it before. It doesn't really taste like anything.
Well,
what's the deal with the tofu there?
Well, tofu is a bean product, and actually, I need to give this a quick rinse. As you may know, in order to have a complete protein, you need to mix, and if you don't want to eat meat, you need to mix a bean product with a grain product. And tofu is a soybean curd.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you mix 1/3 of tofu with 2/3 pasta, and you get a complete protein. Okay. And that's very important because vegetarians don't eat. Obviously, they don't eat meat. Some don't eat fish or milk products, and they need to get high quality protein. So we just chop this up. It's already cooked, so and it's actually very bland. It picks up the flavoring of whatever medium you put it in.
Okay. Now, these tail ends of the zucchini, do we cut these up or do we just like put them off to the side?
You can put them off to the side.
Okay.
You can grab a little more of that. Waste not, want not.
Oh, okay.
Let's get a little of this.
Okay.
Okay, water's already boiling. It's a little too soon. Turn that down.
Oh, just turn it down a little bit. Well, you're the chef. You do. You're in charge of you got the hat on.
I do. I have the hat on.
You have the power.
I must know what I'm doing.
You must know what you're doing. How's my zucchini coming along? Okay.
That's looking good.
All right.
The next thing I'm going to have you do is peel some garlic, and that's a hated job for a lot of people in the kitchen. People don't eat as much garlic as they might because it's such a pain in the neck sometimes to peel it. And what I'm going to have you do here, watch what I do.
Okay.
You take a little clove, and you give it a twist until you feel it really crunch inside. Mm-hmm. I call it, sort of like torquing something, putting a little torque pressure on it.
Okay.
And what that does is it separates the skin from the garlic, and there it is.
Okay.
Right.
And so you want me to what? Slice it up, or?
Well, no. Do a few of those.
Just
finishing off the
torque
onions.
the garlic.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll start the saute.
Okay. I've never torqued garlic before.
Many people have. I don't think too many people have called it that. But now some of your viewers. Hey,
it works. Holy Toledo.
First try. You've got talent. I thought you said you didn't cook.
I don't. I just pretty much do the eating part. Now, how many of these garlics you want me to torque here?
Do about 5 or 6.
Okay.
Okay. And we're gonna use organic olive oil. It is a bit expensive, but it's worth it. And some of your viewers may be wondering what organic is and what it means.
Yeah, everything seems to be organic.
Right. Now, does that? What does that really mean? Let's put this down here for a second.
Okay.
Organic means grown without artificial fertilizers or pesticides, and it's not just sort of a matter of esoteric principle. It's a real health concern. A lot of these chemicals that are used in commercial farming end up on your food. Now, this was grown in my backyard, so we don't have to worry about this. And some of these other things are bought in organic produce stores.
So say for example, the vegetables that you can buy at a supermarket or something like that, aren't they like government inspected?
Well, no,
the government
really doesn't concern itself too much with I guess at a certain level they're concerned, but at levels commonly found in supermarkets they're not. But in fact, there have been studies to show that it is of major concern. And I want to show your viewers, actually, if you wouldn't mind stirring this while... Hey, all right.
All right.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks. You have a chart over here that you brought.
This is from a Washington Post article. I believe it was in 1987 or 88. It's a chart that shows how many people die in their lifetime. Out of 10,000 people, how many people die from eating ordinary foods such as tomatoes, it's first line, beef, potatoes, oranges, lettuce. In the first line, tomatoes, they expect 8.75 people, so about 9 people, to die out of every 10,000 just from eating tomatoes.
Now, this thing, is it like put out by some wacko radical environmental group?
They're called the National Academy of Sciences. So
Are tax dollars paid for that?
not only are they our tax dollars, but they're some of the preeminent scientists in the country, if not the world. And this only deals with 28 of 53 carcinogenic, cancer-causing chemicals recognized by the Environmental Protection Agency.
Wow.
So the problem is probably larger than this. So that's why we're eating organically grown foods.
Cool. You want me to still keep mixing this? Are you doing?
I can take that back over now.
Okay.
This is a little basil,
I'll leave this thing right here.
organically grown. There are a number of organic food outlets in the metropolitan area. If folks want to find out about them, they can give our office a call. We'll be glad to tell them.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to just put these zucchinis in here, and
That'd be good.
you want me to slice up this
Yeah.
onion?
We're going to put the tofu in. Hopefully, it will absorb some of the onion flavoring, and also some of these spices that I'm going to put in. Now, this is another these little leaves here are from my garden again.
Also,
this is oregano, and this is what oregano looks like before it's dried and desiccated and chopped up and usually irradiated. A lot of spices are actually bombarded with radiation. So we'll just give this a quick chop. That's to kill the bacteria in it. Of course, the other alternative is just to buy food fresh, and you don't have to worry too much about bacteria buildup.
Now, just slice up the onions?
Yeah, you can chop them up.
Chop them up, okay.
And what you usually do is you put the food that cooks the slowest in first, so it gets a chance to cook. And so that's why we put the onions in. So you don't want to bite into a totally raw onion.
Okay.
Might ruin your whole evening.
All right.
Of course, some people like salt, and you can always put that in there. These chili peppers were grown, and by the way, I'm mentioning my garden. Don't get the impression that I live out in the suburbs or out in the rural parts. I live in a row house in Washington, D.C., and I have gardens in the front and back, and be surprised what you can grow on a little plot of land.
And how big a plot of land, how much land do you have?
Oh, in the front yard, I'd say maybe we have 100 square feet, so 10 by 10. In the back, about the same that you have the garden on. Now, you said you like hot food, right?
I like hot food.
These chili peppers are killer. Would you like to take
I
a taste?
can wait until the dinner is made. I don't love it. So what kind of stuff do you grow in there besides what we're having?
We do tomatoes and cabbage, and these greens here that we're going to use. Some of our collards, some are cauliflower greens. We've had our first cauliflower already this year. These guys. Why don't you start giving these a trim?
A trim?
Yeah, trim off that
Bad part. Okay. The stem over here too?
Yeah, you can cut a little bit of the stem off, sure.
Okay. This is beautiful. Toss these suckers in.
Great.
Okay. Now, with this thing here, do you want me to slice it up, or?
Yeah, just give it a chop it up.
Finely?
Small. Yeah, fairly finely.
Okay.
This
so
doesn't
roll
really
it
need
up
too much cooking, but it's bitter if you don't cook it at all. That's
Is that
good.
like that?
Good way to do it.
Good.
Okay.
Well.
All right.
So our viewers are aware of what's coming down the line. What else are we going to be doing with the food here?
Well, we're sautéing these vegetables, and we're going to be I do cheat a bit, I must admit. I use an organic pasta sauce. It's only $3 or $3.50 for 2 pounds, so it's a little bit more expensive than others. But as you see, if you don't want to be one of those unlucky 9 out of 10,000 that are killed by tomatoes, and we don't mean crates falling on them. this little stuff can kill you. You can pick this up and use it.
Okay.
So in a little while we'll put that in there. This is, of course, already cooked.
Sounds good. Well, it smells good. All right. I didn't chop them good enough, huh?
I like them all.
Do you need more garlics, or is that fine?
That looks good. I'm glad you reminded me. Put those garlic in right now.
It has a good smell to it.
That's should be palatable.
Good. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. While we're doing all this slicing and dicing, what we have to do is we got to pay our bills. So we're going to be rolling to a commercial.
Okay.
Okay. So can we roll it? Pay our bills.
This is commercial TV?
This is commercial TV. Can you believe it? Wait till you see our
I thought it
commercials.
was public funded.
Before 1945, chemical farming was unheard of in America. Now it's a fact of life and death. Wise up, America. Support organic farming.
I don't know about you, Joe, but looking at that commercial, I lost my appetite.
Well, the good news is that none of the food we're going to be eating tonight has any of that stuff in it.
All right.
So
I'm glad to hear that.
we're off
So,
during the break, by the way, I did during that commercial, I did put a little pasta in there. So
cooking waits
it's not
for no one.
magic. It did go
magic
in
pasta.
via the hand.
Okay. So, what kind of things is MetNet doing right now? What kind of problems do you see in the local area?
Well, as with any region in the country, we sort of face similar issues. If there is solid waste, the failure of local jurisdictions to get good recycling programs up and running as fast as we'd like them to results in pressure to build more incinerators, which are incredibly expensive and are very polluting, releasing heavy metals into the environment, etc. There's a lot that we can do to conserve energy so that we don't need to build more power plants in a heavily urban area. One of the big issues that we're working on in D.C. and in Maryland, parts of Maryland, is to clean up the Anacostia River so that we can swim in it and enjoy it. Hopefully, it might take 10 or 15 years. Northern Virginia, of course, they're dealing with the tank farms, the leaking tank farm from an oil company.
We've got leaking tank farm just right down the pike.
Right here in Fairfax. Unfortunately, it's not this problem of leaking underground storage tanks is not only here. It's a nationwide problem. In fact, there's just an incredible amount of pollution going into the air industry puts out. In the DC area, though, our problem isn't so much industry as something called non-point source pollution. And what that means is it's not coming from single or large pipes from big plants. It's coming from farms, the runoff from fields. It comes from people pouring motor oil down the drain. It's unbelievable that people still do that, but apparently there's more oil put down the drain, I think, monthly than the Exxon Valdez spilled in Alaska and that Titanic crash a couple of years ago. Also, something that folks should keep in mind is that every time you pave over grassland or land, when it rains, instead of stuff soaking right into the ground there and slowly biodegrading, it washes off all in a big rush and it causes erosion, and that stuff floods into rivers, and that's what damages the Chesapeake. Something burning here?
No, I was just
okay.
just noticing everything is going.
Yeah. So development is not just it doesn't just cause traffic jams. It doesn't just cause ugly scenery. It also results in pollution of the Chesapeake Bay and the killing of the Chesapeake.
Do you want the rest of this here?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Grab that. This next PSA that I think you have gives you a sense of the scope of the problem. It talks about the zillions of tons, I guess it's not quite zillions, of tons of pollutants being poured into the atmosphere and into the water each year. And it also talks about one particular strategy, which is laws that enable citizens to get this information so that they can begin to deal with these problems.
Good. All right. Well, this thing's starting to smell good now. Let me take another nice whiff here. You know what you're missing, folks. So how much longer do we let this cook? We just a couple more minutes before we do the sauce?
Yeah, just a couple minutes. And the pasta's getting close.
Now, this pasta is also organic,
Right.
pasta.
Organic wheat.
So the whole, everything, olive oil, organic, everything's cool. Okay, great. So, as Joe was saying earlier, we have a PSA. Basically, it's titled, Your Right to Know. So why don't we roll that PSA so people can see what's going on? 1, 2, 3, roll. Thanks, Joe.
What you don't know won't hurt you. Each year, over 5 billion pounds of toxic chemicals are released into the air in the United States. These emissions cause over 2,000 cancer deaths a year. No news is good news. Our nation is littered with over 300,000 hazardous waste sites, which leak poisons into the water supplies of 120 million Americans. Ignorance is bliss. 3 out of 5 Americans live in an area where the air is contaminated beyond federal health standards. Chances are, the air, the water, or the land where you live is endangering the health of you and your family. In 1986, a law was passed that gives you the right to know if the area in which you live is contaminated by toxic chemicals. Wouldn't you like to know?
You got that right to know, you know? And sometimes you don't want to know.
Sometimes people don't want to know, but you have to be at least conscious of the problem in order to take your first steps in solving it. When people first become aware of the environmental problems that we're dealing with, it's often kind of numbing. It's like the nuclear arms race. Helen Caldicott talked about psychic numbing.
Right.
Well, the same thing really happens with the environment. The groundwater is polluted, the food we eat is polluted. But there is a lot that you can do. It's not necessarily beyond our control. The first thing you can do is deal with your own life and your own lifestyle. One of the things that I do, and many environmentalists do, and not just environmentalists but farmers, is instead of throwing these food scraps away, we keep them, and you collect them and you put them in a heap out in the backyard with grass clippings or leaves and sticks and weeds that you pull out of your garden, and in a couple of months they decompose and it turns into fertile soil, and you end up turning this waste product into new food. So you actually recycle it into food.
It's like Mother Earth waves a magic wand over trash and you get food.
It's magic. And so you're not putting this stuff would either go into landfill, taking up space, making it more likely to have incinerators. We'd have to pay to haul it.
Polluting water tables, whatever.
If you put it down the garbage disposal, it doesn't go away magically. It goes into the water and it
put it into incinerator. Whatever the case might be.
So you can actually take control of this. It's something that you can do. You don't need a lot of space. It can be done even on a porch. It can be done even indoors if you want to. You don't need a big backyard. I live in a little row house, and we can do it there. Other things, of course.
You want me to stir this for you?
Yeah, get that. Keep that stirring. Of course, you can also recycle. You can buy organic foods, which is not only good for you, but it's good for the soil, because when foods are grown organically, they have to be grown on a smaller scale. They don't use the heavy machinery that washes the topsoil off into the rivers, clogging the rivers, ruining the topsoil. Obviously, you're not polluting with pesticides and all that. So you can recycle, you can buy organic, you can compost. And then after educating yourself and beginning to do things on your own, you can start getting involved more politically with other people. We recommend that the slogan is think globally and act locally.
You were talking about the sauce.
The sauce.
Okay.
Good point.
You got the hat, man. You got
ready for the sauce.
Okay.
The sauce
is out of the way.
Pre-cooked. What a sound. Great sound. It's pre-cooked, so it doesn't have to... all you really need to do is heat it up.
Okay.
It is cheating, I admit, but I don't usually have enough time to make sauce from scratch. Although, hey, cut that out, Joel.
Tastes good.
In the summertime, we have a lot of tomatoes, and we do. And so, beyond getting involved in your own neighborhood, if you'd like to know what to do and how to get involved, I recommend getting a copy of MetNet. And we list, among other things, volunteer opportunities, internships. People can
do it now.
Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. Get involved.
Did I get some plates?
Yeah.
Are we almost ready here?
Looks like it's ready.
Okay. All right. Hope these plates are big enough, man. Okay. You have to drain it. And while he is draining it, I want to remind everybody that to get any information on the show, we have addresses flashing along. And while he's doing that, let me stir this up some. Holy Toledo. Joe, Mr. Chef.
What happened?
I'm messing up everything.
Oh, no. Guess we'll just turn off the stove now,
Okay.
and that should do it.
Okay. Well, I'll let you do the serving. And what I will do is I'll do the eating.
You think you can handle it?
I'll do my best.
Now, when do you start cooking on the show, Jose?
I start cooking real soon. As soon as I learn how to cook. That's why I have the show. It's like lessons for me.
I see. Does that look like enough for you?
It looks fine to me.
Okay.
Now this is organic pasta.
Wait, you're supposed to wait for the sauce.
I just want to try the pasta.
How hot is this? Not too bad.
This pasta doesn't need any sauce. It's delicious.
Good stuff.
Mmm.
So this zucchini is not overcooked. It's still a little tiny bit
Nice and
crunchy in the
firm.
middle.
Yeah.
Because if you overcook vegetables, they lose their value as food. So
Great.
less cooking
Okay.
the better, really.
I want to thank Joe for coming on by, but before he departs, what I want to do is I want to remind everybody that our next show, we have some homeless activists coming by, and we're going to be doing some dumpster diving. So what I want to tell everybody is to bring your goggles, bring your flippers. It should be an interesting show. I can't believe the stuff we do for ratings. So Joe, thanks for coming on by. The food is delicious. You guys have got our address. If you want to get in contact with us, we want to hear from you. Thank you again. Dumpster diving, next time. Peace.
I dreamed all of the animals will be safe forever. I dreamed our water got clean again. I would like more trees to grow. And the ozone layer will get strong again. Fish are neat and I don't want any of them to die. I dreamed our earth will get well again. Because everyone who lived here started doing things to help it. Help our planet to get better. Make every day Earth Day.